What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to talk about what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I want to break down some very important things going on with the market right now. But before I break anything down, let me just say a couple of things. I am personally not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link, which is down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks. The offer ends in 6 days, so check it out before they run out. Anyways, let's break down what's going on with the market. We had a very aggressive sell-off today, and I called some downside yesterday about the markets. I was telling you we should be expecting some downside on Tesla, SPY, and these different tickers. Not really so much for Tesla, but the other tickers for sure. But I was thinking that some buyers could step in on SPY either at this 422 level, maybe at 420. And if we lost 420, that would be a very bearish signal. And that's what ended up happening. I was thinking yesterday we would see buyers around this 420 area or so. Instead, the buyers, they were trying to defend it for some time today, but they ended up failing. And this bearish news that came out caused a very aggressive sell-off. And we have more news coming out that's leading to more and more fear throughout the markets because of how yields can be affected. So what does this mean for the market future? Is there going to likely be an end of the year rally, in my opinion? The answer is yes. I still believe the market's going to see some upside for November and also for December. I still think the odds greatly favor that. And I made another video about this over the weekend. So if you go back to my videos, the ones I posted on Saturday of last week, that's going to be one of the best videos to watch for that thesis. I do believe there's going to be a rally coming towards the end of the year, but before that happens, the market needs to bottom. And the market has not bottomed yet. We're continuing to sell off. And if you look at this from an Elliott wave perspective, if you kind of like zoom out, let me actually pull up the 4-hour time frame just to show you this. We're still on wave 5, basically, right? And that's typically the final wave. This is when the market starts to sell off a bit. So we're still entering the final stages of the sell-off. And I believe in that. This is one of the things I said earlier, and that is the ultimate bottom for SPY is going to be somewhere likely between 418 to 410. I wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhere around there. And based off that, things could continue. Things could shift, especially once we get to those lower levels. But we have this 5-wave structure right here. This was like wave 3. We had wave 4 right here. And then, we're still on wave 5 for this ultimate bottom. So could there be more downside? The answer is yes. The market's still selling off. We're going to be watching some very important data tomorrow, and that's going to determine how the market's going to move. So why is the market selling off so aggressively? There are many reasons. One of them would be the fact that Alphabet, aka Google, ended up selling off after its earnings. Then we had this news that came out that the new home sales soared last month as buyers swarmed the markets. And we saw new home sales actually show this increase right over here. You can see this increase. Now, the reason why this is happening is not necessarily because people are just so into real estate, they're buying up like crazy, but it's because of the anticipation of higher rates. And this is something that many economists oftentimes talk about. We actually had one right over here saying that when rates increase, like they did over the last month, sometimes you get a sales acceleration in the housing market, and buyers are going to be concerned about rates going up even further, so they want to just secure what they can, and then that could just be like not the best of news for like the longer term. And there's a very high probability that that's what's going on. There's some FOMO trying to secure these rates because rates may remain very high for an extended period of time, according to Jerome Powell. So what's going on with the markets? Jerome Powell is going to give a little speech, but it's just going to be an introductory speech. But there's a possibility he could say something about the market later on. Maybe he could say something about the economy. So we'll see what he says. He's going to be speaking after the market closes today. But this is not the biggest reason as to why the market's selling off. Another big factor is going to be the data coming out for Thursday morning. So 1 hour before the market opens, you want to be paying attention to this. We have the GDP growth rate numbers coming out, and they've been revised to be higher than expected. Okay, so we're expecting a higher GDP growth rate than expected. And this, if it does come out at 4+%, okay, if it's way too hot, this could lead to the 10-year treasury yield to go up even higher. Let me just pull this up for 1 second. So the 10-year is continuing to soar to the upside. This treasury yield is continuing to go up and up and up, and we're about to break that 5% mark. This is very important because if this breaks, the market could be anticipating a more hawkish Fed because there's fear that if the economy is way too strong, there could be another surge in inflation, and there's fear that the Fed may have to be hawkish again. And yields are continuing to go up as we're anticipating big changes that are going on within the bonds markets. Yields are continuing to increase to try to, kind of change demand right now. And it's really changing this overall structure. So with yields going up, possibly because of the GDP numbers coming out tomorrow, we are anticipating some hot numbers. This could once again lead to more selling in the stock market. I was thinking that this would happen a little bit later on. So what I was initially thinking was the market would hold up today and see selling for Thursday, but instead it happened early on. So it was a little bit different from what I was expecting. And now that the market is selling off like this, we're just going to be watching some very important levels. So on SPY, we have support at 417 now. We broke 418, so that's a bearish signal. But watch 417. We'll see if this holds or not. I think we're getting very close to the next hour starting, at least at the time I'm recording this. We're going to be watching that 417 support. If we lose it, we're going to come all the way down to about this 416.25 to 416.5 area. If we lose that, the next level to watch for is going to be between 414 and 415 on SPY. And that's like really, really far below. I mean, it's unlikely we drop that hard, but sometimes you never know. So this range right here is going to be very, very important, this 414 to 415 range. And if we lose that, the next level is going to be 412.5, followed by 410. Now, could SPY drop more aggressively? It could. It is a real possibility, guys. It could still see more selling, but watch support at 417. We'll see if this holds or not. So watch these levels very carefully. Now, as the market is selling off, there are other tickers that have different nuanced reactions. I'm going to talk about those in just a few minutes. Now, for SPY, we have resistance at 418. If we get above it, there's some resistance now at 419 since we tried to hold this as supports today. So watch 418, 419, and then 420 flat as strong resistance. We have to try to get above 420 to try to give some hope for the bulls, but we're not even close to it. So it looks very unlikely, and the market is continuing to weaken. On the QQQ, we're also looking weak. This thing is selling off. I was anticipating it would come down to about 355 or even below that, maybe 353.5, then bounce. But instead, we did not see buyers. We didn't see the buyers really step in to bring this back up. So now we're barely holding 350 on the triple Q. We also broke below this white trend line of support right here. And because we broke below it, now we're testing 350. If we lose this, 347 is going to be coming, followed by 345. So there's going to be some very, very important levels. QQQ is looking more bearish right now. Watch 350 as key support. If we lose it, watch for 347. It's still looking relatively weak. Now, on top of this, we have, I forgot to mention this resistance where this trend line is right here at 351.8. Depending on the timing, then there's 352.5 and 353.5 as resistance levels. So far, the market is weakening, but watch support very, very carefully. On Nvda stock, we were anticipating some selling, and it ended up selling off even more than what I was expecting. I was talking about 425 potentially being tested if we lost 431. And if anything, we broke below this. So the next level to watch for was right here. We were just broke below 420. So we're watching key support around this is like 417 almost around there. If we lose that, we could come all the way down to this imbalance towards 410. It's a possibility on Nvda, so just be very, very careful and make sure you watch support right there. For resistance, watch 420, 422.5, which is not that strong. 425 is where we have stronger resistance, followed by 431. So watch those levels. It is looking a bit more bearish, but we'll see how it holds around 418. On Aapl stock, this is also looking a bit more bearish. We're continuing to sell off. We're currently at this 170 support, but don't forget Aapl has earnings coming out soon. So that's going to be a big determinant where this thing ends up going. Watch this 170.26 support. If we lose this, it's going to come all the way down to 169. If we lose 169, watch 167.75. For resistance, you're going to be watching 171. If you break that, watch 172.61 and 173.5. Right now, we look more bearish, so watch support very close to where we are. It is still selling off, so be very, very careful. For Tesla stock, now Tesla's not looking that bad. It's showing some signs of relative strength. But the thing about Tesla is it's been just trading sideways for almost the entire day, not really doing too much. So around Tesla, we're going to be watching this support right here. We're seeing a slight sell-off now. we just broke 214, so we could see this selling off a little bit more towards 212. But it's, like I said, guys, it's not that bad for Tesla. Tesla's holding up quite decently. It's only down like 1%, so not bad whatsoever. On days like this, Tesla could easily be down, over 2 to 3%. It's only down 1% because its beta is above 2.0. That's showing some strength relative to before. So we'll see how things are basically going. But for Tesla, watch this 212 area. We have a gap down here to get filled. We were trading inside of this for most of today. It's still kind of stationary, not really moving that aggressively. But if we lose 212, watch 210 and then 208. Tesla's just not that volatile. And then for resistance, watch 214, 215, and then 216.8. It's kind of like range bound. It's not making like a massive move, and it may just remain this way as time goes on. All right. So that's it for Tesla. I think I went over pretty much everything. So that's it for now, guys. Just know the market is still weakening. We're going to be watching this very important support on SPY at 417. We'll see if this holds or not. If we break it, there could be even more selling. We still look bearish on the 30 minutes time frame, but let's see if buyers could try to defend this area. Anyways, that's it for now. Thank you for listening. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys very soon for the next one. All right. Thanks again, and peace out.